In a world where gaming is everything, welcome to the Extreme Gaming Podcast.
Hello, welcome to Extreme Gaming Podcast, episode 269. We are recording this on February 27th, a Thursday. We've got a lot of stuff. Every time we think there's maybe not, a slow news day, there ends up being a lot of things. But in any case, my name is GreyGamer25, and I'll introduce everybody. So go ahead, guys.
Hello, I am Trev as always. Hope you're having a good one. It's only Trev, it'll never be Trev. I need to stop changing my name. It's just Trev, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Trevorino. So, I'm Matt.
No, he's
also
Trev
known
as
Irish
always. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, that's the surname. Yeah.
And you're Matt?
I'm Matt, Irish guy.
You're
yeah,
Matt.
Hey,
I am. I had to think. I was looking there. I was like, "Who am I? Where's my passport so I can tell?"
Yes, I believe in this recording.
million,
These
5
names
million
stay
for that.
there, so that would be cool. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, actually. And Mr. Tarl?
Hi everyone, I'm Tal. Thanks Trev, and happy to be here.
And what
Cool,
do
cool,
you do,
cool.
Tar? Where's your website?
Yeah, give us a little quick plug as long as you're there.
We thought we got you on for your personality and banter. No. You're our PC video component guy, man. You have to like sell your company, man.
Right, I genuinely did think it was for the banter, but okay, fine, fine. It's so I'm Tal, and I run a company called Gamertech. So please take a look at gamertech.org, where you'll find the most value PCs for gaming in the country. In this country, that is, UK
Wow.
only.
Yes.
Ta-da. Very nice.
So I missed that. Can you do that again?
Yeah, I missed it all. Can you do it backwards? That's always cool. Yeah, exactly. Let's my question again.
You've done that before. You've done that before, haven't you?
Anyway, a little paperwork here. Discord, you can join and see us. Discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. That's Discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. If you come on over there, we had like 5 people join since the last show or two. And a couple of them started gaming with us and everything too. So we had a lot of fun with that. So if you want to come over, do some gaming, or just kind of hang out and read the stuff that we post, or contribute, or talk to us, or post questions, or whatever, come on over to the Discord, no problems. Any gaming PC tech questions that you want to get in, that's probably the best way to do it, since they're recording now and not so much live. So put your question in and we'll answer it on the podcast. Game night, we always say unofficially, even though we do make it most of the time, but Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. GMT. We pick on different games to play. What have we played, guys, so far? Age of Empires 4, World War Z, Division 2. I don't
Why are
even
they playing
remember.
Genital Jousting? That still hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
multiplayer. That's a game by the way.
You haven't heard of that one, Char?
I've not heard of. I've heard of that one, but I've not heard of the.
Your little Willy can get a cut while shaving. Like it looks like a little Willy, and it puts a suit and tie on. It goes to work, and it does everything that a person would do.
Game.
But it looks like a Willy.
What the hell are you even saying? I don't.
Genital Jousting is a game. It is phenomenal.
Believe me, when I first heard about it,
You
my
don't want to
reaction
play in the
was
VR, though.
yours.
No, I didn't mean in real life. You and I like no. It's a game. It's a video game.
Oh, what are you saying? You don't think I'm
No, I
attractive?
would lose in real life. That's why I play it in the game.
I think the first time I heard about it was when Trev said it, and I thought he was just kidding.
Nope.
So I'm going, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Never
And then
laughed
he goes,
that hard in my
no,
life.
it's a real game. So I go look at it, and I was just laughing my butt off. I couldn't believe it. I'm going like, no.
Your Willy off, not your butt.
Yeah,
All right, so is that what we're playing next week, or
No.
Well,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
what do you mean no?
We're not live
It sounds
streaming.
great.
We're not live streaming it, so we could
Is
probably
it-
get away with it in the Discord. Actually,
Trev, is it multi-genital? Can we all play? You just had to do that.
I think we can actually.
That's good. Yeah, I like it.
Oh boy, we're already off to a good start. We already talked about gamertech.org, but take a look at the site, and Tara will build a PC for you for free. I mean, not for free. We're on the socials, YouTube, Extreme Gaming Podcast, Facebook, Extreme Gaming Podcast, TikTok, Extreme Gaming Podcast, and X, Extreme Podcast, not gaming, as
We'll
someone
get more
took it.
coming soon. 1 or 2 more maybe.
But we're working on that one.
Great. I have one or
so-
2 announcements as well. If you're finished, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I give a little shout out to
No.
Brilvin, I might be pronouncing his name wrong. He is going to run a marathon, I think he said, this weekend, and the poor bastard is going to be listening to us whilst he's doing it, so we need to really up our game, boys, and make sure he can't concentrate and he falls all over the place like a drunk runner. So good luck, Brilvin.
Nice.
Hope you smash it, mate, and you get a good time, and we will try and do you a good show, my man.
The only thing I hope is that when he's running the race and listening to us, that he doesn't laugh at what we're doing and lose time.
Yeah, that's a problem. You can't laugh and run. It's difficult. So
I don't think there's much hope of that.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, you might lose precious seconds.
And the other real, the quick announcement as well that I didn't add to you, and I should have. Sorry, I'm unprepared today. We are going to be doing some ad hoc special episodes, trying to up our game, trying to be professional. And the first one will be coming to you in the next kind of week or two. But I already have a second one lined up that the boys don't know about. And I'll give Galuzzi a shout for that one. He put a very interesting article into the gaming channel about Steam, and maybe they're not as bad as like Valve Steam. Maybe they're not as bad as you thought they were. And he put some good arguments in there about what's going on with the gaming industry with that. So that'll be a second topic for us to discuss. If you want us to do a special on anything where we spend half an hour, we just talk about that one thing until we run out of stuff to say, let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
That sounds
Sounds
very
me,
cool.
Gray.
And then eventually we're each going to do a special on each one of our lives and put that on there. And I'm sure everybody would love
Who am I? Who am I? Oh, God.
it. Put everybody to sleep right away.
That's not a bad idea, actually, but I'm semi-serious about that.
It's really hard to talk about yourself for more than a few
When we were
minutes.
in high school.
No, you get asked, you get interviewed, Tarl. That's the whole point. I've done this before on another podcast. They interview you, and you have a rough idea of what you're going to be asked before, so you're not cut out. But you get interviewed, and then you kind of know what you're going to talk about. It's actually a lot easier.
Yeah, it's
than
not
you
like
think.
most times with interviews, you usually know the questions or more or less. You're
Yeah.
given the questions, unless it's a news oriented, live kind of thing, because then they could ask maybe almost
Yep.
anything. But
If you're a narcissist, it really helps. You go on for a lot longer. So yeah. Anyway,
you'd be surprised. Some of the stars that you see go on there, they have their list of do's and don'ts that they submit to the producer. Don't ask me about my last boyfriend. Don't ask me about or whatever.
yeah,
Otherwise, they won't do it. They won't do the interview. So
exactly.
it's interesting.
Did
All right,
you
we're
ever
going to
see
move
that-
along to. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tara.
Sorry, no, I was just thinking, did you ever see that one with Robert Downey Jr. when the guy from the BBC was pushing about his drug, history, and he was just like livid. He's like, this was
Really?
not on the docket. You could not talk about this.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Should clip that and just bring it in. No.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get on rolling with all kinds of game and hardware stuff. So the first up is going to be Trev. He's going to talk about a game review of World War Z. Go ahead, Trev.
Yes, Wes, an old game, but an actual game to talk about and discuss. I'm the only one out of all of us here that I think played this. I was playing it with the other guys on our gaming night, which, by the way, we got quite a few people signed up for that. See when you don't make an effort anymore, Gray, that kind of just happens. I don't know what's going on
Yeah,
there.
I know
man.
it's funny.
It's hilarious, but we already had 6 people signed up for the next one, so we're going to be continuing on next week, and there's only 4 people in a team, so I'm afraid those that couldn't make it last week, you're just going to have to go and play Division 2 with Gray or something else. But we'll try and stream it so you can watch as well. So yeah, essentially, this game is quite a few years old, right? It was free in the Epic Store, and I think there's a couple of them out at the moment, and I think it might be related to a movie. Someone might be able to tell me. The movie World War Z.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
movie. It's got
Yeah.
Brad Pitt in it and everything.
Yeah, it rings a
Oh,
bell.
I thought it was the other way around. That
No.
the movie from the game.
Okay, maybe it is. Usually
I
it's the
think.
game from the movie, mate. It's usually the game from the movie, because the other way around isn't usually successful, as we all know. There's a
Yeah,
rare
this way
exception.
was movie first, and then it was the game.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember it, man. It was all right. I think it was
It's
all
a
right.
good film.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I love a zombie film, so
Film is good.
this was a real good one for me.
Yes, 100%.
By the way, not to
man.
interrupt Trev, but I will anyway. When-
But yeah, we
World
know.
War Z, were you guys? Because I wasn't there. Were you guys playing the regular game or the aftermath thing that's out?
I think the free game that's available at the moment from Epic is the Aftermath thing. I think so. That might be their
Okay.
second game then. I don't think it's the DLC. I might have the first game as well. So yeah, just to clarify,
I thought it
guess
was aftermath. I wasn't sure.
World War. I was trying to be international and diplomatic. No, I'm not. Screw that. World War Z, Aftermath. Sometimes you say Z, it does actually sound better in the context. Sometimes it doesn't. World War Z, Aftermath. I was playing it with Jansen, and I was playing it with a couple of the new boys as well, Screamer and Unix Dad. Unix Dad found us from Heart and Hand, the other podcast that we're on, the football one. So that was nice to see we're getting people from that coming over and listening. To anyone that's come over and join us for the gaming night, like, it doesn't matter, even if you support that other lot, I won't judge you. Come over and we'll play nice. And it was 4 in a team. Essentially, the best way to describe this, Left 4 Dead. If any of you guys have played that, right? Left 4 Dead. Brilliant game, both of them. I wish they'd make a third one. It's basically a bit like you've got so many missions and story missions to do, and they're split into chapters, and you have a nice, decent story behind it, but essentially the obvious element in that is the constant horde of zombies. Like they come running after you, like 28 weeks later style, come running at you, masses of them, and you've got to take them out. But they try and put a little story element into it. You have your special classes. The special classes need to be I don't understand them. I went a medic. I couldn't feckin' heal anyone. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what? Because I like going about sticking my needle into people. I was going to say something else. I won't. I like just going and just jabbing everyone, making sure they're okay. But the only way I could do that is if I picked up a med pack, which anyone could do. So it defeats the purpose of the feckin' class. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm being a dum-dum. But the boys
sounds like user error to me, Trev.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers. Yeah. Saying that to fellow IT guy is ultimate insult, by the way, people.
Were you using a controller or a keyboard?
Oh, no, I wasn't doing a Jansen and using a controller. He still used a controller. I use keyboard and mouse. Don't get me started on that, mate. That is actually worse than Gray's trackball. Dare I say it?
What, a controller?
Yes. Yeah. I would rather use a trackball than a controller.
I completely agree.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a nice looking trackball, to be fair, Greg. So yeah, what was said is about playing with other people. It's good fun. You can play it on your own and it'll scale, but it's more fun to play with other people. I had a blast playing it. I was surprised I actually had a blast playing it. You can pick up a bunch of weapons as you go through it. You can refill your ammo. You can run out of ammo, but essentially you'll do a bit of story element, get to where you have to get to, and then you hunker down and take out the horde of zombies. And I like picking up the RPGs, just blasting them, fire in your hole, incoming. Friendly fire's a thing, by the way, so I end up like taking out half my teammates. Sorry about that, boys.
By the way, fun. RPG is not role-playing game.
No, rocket propelled grenade. Yes, it's got a few names, that weapon.
It's called a bazooka.
Or a bazooka, a bazooka as well. Is that bazooka in the UK and RPG in the States? Is that what it is?
No, we've said bazooka too. We say both.
Bazooka sounds better.
To be honest, I haven't heard the term bazooka used much anymore. It used to be like all the time.
Yeah, back in the 80s, wasn't it, when they did
they named a bubblegum after
movie
it.
And all that.
Well, I don't even know if it should be called an RPG because rocket propelled grenade, I think the latest.
That's the military.
I was going to say, like, I think a bazooka is probably a better term because it wasn't throwing out grenades. I tell you that bloody much.
I'm trying to find out how they even came up with the word. What the heck is bazooka? I mean, I think it's
just
a great
cool
name.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's a cool name, but it's like, where'd they get that?
Bazooka. Bazooka, RPG, whatever you want to call it. I'll have other names. Would you say, Matt?
Bazooka, that Faruka.
Oh, yeah. They used in the UK. Oh, no, that advert. Remember, Bazooka, that Faruka. That was a good one.
Not me. I'll have to explain it later.
You have, as part of your classes, you have other special things you can do as well. So if you are, I can't remember some of their names, but you can basically go the guy that's kind of like the explosive guy type thing, and he will or she will have C4 and whatnot. That does the damage nicely. One of the other classes, I don't know if that was a medic, maybe it was, has, instead of grenades or C4, has tasers. And I'm thinking, tasers against a horde of zombies? Nah, it's not. But if anyone ever played Call of Duty, Black Ops, and you turned on the traps to zap the zombies, it's kind of like that, and I feckin' love it. I love to see the zombos burn. So basically,
you got turrets and the electric fence
Yeah, you
bottom
get
thing,
traps.
isn't it? Yeah.
Traps as well. They're all
Brilliant.
there as well, actually, Matt. It's a good shout. You get the traps as well, but I like the tasers because if you get a bunch of them together, you can't get the whole horde with one taser. That would be unrealistic. But you just shoot your taser, and then a bunch of them fry on the spot. I'm just going about with a bloody Spider-Man, with my taser. And that was good fun. And the boys were pretty good as well. You can get downed, of course you can. Watch out for pink eye. You can get pink eye in this. That's what I call it.
That's a bit realistic, isn't it?
If you watch South Park, you'll know what that is. Pink. No, it's you get infected by zombies, so you can get battered and downed, which is normal. But you can also get pink eye as well, which means you will get
Somebody farts on your pillow.
exactly and puts it in your face, and then that's it. You get game over, man.
So if you get pink eye in the game, does that mean you turn into a zombie?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, you get infected by zombies.
No.
So the zombie classes. There's one that detonates. There's one that throws out the fumes. There's one that will infect you, and you have to basically disinfect yourself. But you're getting battered by zombies the whole time. So, like, you try to find a moment to actually heal yourself, and it's very, very difficult to do so. Actually, Matt, were you playing with us World War Z? I can't know.
No, I played it
be
last week.
Division.
The Division. Sorry,
You played the Division, didn't you?
I played Division. Yes, yeah. I did play War Z last week or a few days ago before then, just to get controls sorted. No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I played it before when it first came out. It was okay. It was definitely like Left 4 Dead. Way too much like it. And then
Which is a good thing.
It is. Yeah. But then when they did this new release and they renamed it, the old quotation fingers going, I was expecting something new. And when I got in there, everything was exactly the same. The same levels, the same weapons, everything was the same.
It's the same game, sorry, Matt. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
They re-released it. Oh,
Yeah,
do you want
it's
to
the exact same?
expand on that? What happened? You know?
Yeah. So I was expecting some new maps, new skins, new something. And as soon as I logged in, there was problems with me trying to get into a game. That's one thing. Another thing I hated about it. So that took quite a while. Then
Interesting.
yeah. So myself and Scythe went in, played a few games, and where it just left us exactly the same missions that I remember. Every single detail from being on the roof, waiting to get down the stairwell to lead you to the corridor to the labs. And I was like, this hasn't changed one single bit. So we played through it anyways, and then at the end, I think we got kicked out because of lost connection, which keeps happening as well. For either myself, Scythe, or one of the other guys that we automatically joined on Quick Play. So yeah, from there I was just like, nah, I played this already. I've done this to death.
Do you know why it was re-released? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Like, so it wasn't a sequel. They re-released the game. Did something happen? Did they F up or something? What?
Probably they effed up.
They probably remastered. If it's the same, they remastered
It's exactly the same.
That's all
it
it
doesn't
is.
even look like a remaster. It looks exactly the same.
Really?
The only thing they've changed is they put Aftermath in the title. That was it.
I thought it looked pretty good. So I'll research that more, guys, because I'm actually curious as to what's going on here. If something happened or they remastered it, because it doesn't say remaster anywhere, which it should really do.
Yeah, I would think it would if it was the same or better.
What were they trying to remaster?
I think I played the original when it first came out. I remember playing it with, who was it? Jansen and Nick back in the day. I said that to Jansen. He remembers playing that, and it might have been the first game, but I don't. Yeah, you're probably right, Matt. They probably just put a new label on it. But listen, I can only judge it for this one-off experience, and I had fun in that time. I'm not really sure how the upgrades work. You can upgrade your class with various things, so I'm basically like, give me the tasers plus, like, give me all the tasers, more range, more zappage, more frying of zombos. I'll take that. I'm not really bothering to upgrade weapons because you start with a weapon. I think you need to pick up the weapon and play for a while in the game before you have the option to upgrade it. What's the point in doing that if you picked a class because you like the weapons maybe the class has got? So, I don't know. But listen, it's all about having fun in these games. That's the most important thing. And we had a blast, pun intended, playing it. I don't know how far we're into it, but Chancellor will probably tell us. But we're going to continue next week. So we've got like 2 or 3 game voice rooms there.
Yeah. So it was
jump in.
an actual upgrade
So,
from World War Z,
Right.
which supposedly adds new stories from the World at War, which I haven't seen at all.
okay.
It also
Good.
includes swarms of fleshy-hungry rats. So I guess that's new.
Oh,
You didn't have
fucking
rats.
by the way.
There
The
we go.
rats are OP. They down you in seconds and devour you. Like, swear, they're worse than the zombies. I'd run away from them, screaming at a little girl when I see them. They will kill you. If
You
don't
need to
get
make
help
them all
from the
pets
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
can eat the zombies.
Give him a tickle. Some cheese.
You play with your own rat, man. I'm not
It's
touching
that
you.
pink eye, man. It sends them crazy.
It does.
It
It
does.
does.
It does. Wow.
Careful where you put it. Right?
Cool.
That's more than pink eye, mate. A clinic can just need to chop it off, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense, Matt. So it's the original game plus they've added shit to it. Right, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, like next week, one of us will try and stream it in the Discord channel. So come and listen to us or watch us, I guess. And some of the other boys will probably play the Division or something else. It's hard to find a game where more than 4 people can get in. It's difficult. If we all
Sometimes,
agree on
yeah.
the same game, we can all like jump into like a couple of teams of 4 or 2 threes or something. I do that with my friends sometimes when we play COD Zombies a little bit. We'll turn off auto matchmaking just to get the 2 of us, or we'll play with people we know. So I don't like playing with randoms. But anyway, yes, World War Z, come along next week and watch us. And if there is space, you can join in.
Cool.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. So there you go on World War Z, difference of opinions and whatnot. And I haven't played it yet, so I have no idea.
Aftermath.
Generally, I don't like zombie games, but if it's something funny and you're playing with friends, it usually always makes things better anyway.
Ray, do you like Sniper Elite? What's the zombie one called again?
The zombie mode. I haven't played the zombie mode only because
There's
again,
4
I'm not
separate games based just on it. I think. I'm sure there's separate games. What?
No. The what they did is they had I don't think it was a DLC. I think it was in the game or it was a DLC later. But you have to actually, when you start Sniper Elite, you have a choice of what type game you want to go into, and you choose it from the menu. Speaking of Sniper Elite, like a real quickie,
Sniper
there
Elite
should be
Zombie
a new
Army.
update. The update should have came in already. I have a season pass, so yay for me. And they're putting in 3 new maps, so you'll have 3 new missions to go on, which is great because I already finished the game, so I'm gonna go back and
Wow,
keep
that's impressive.
it going. But
It's,
the cool thing is that there's a decent amount of replayability in Sniper Elite. So there's different ways you can take the mission. I mean, I enjoy sniping, so especially from long distance if I can. But you can go closer. You don't have to do it exactly like that. So
It's Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Army. That's its full title, and there's 4 games in the list so far.
cool. If it's in the season pass, then I'll look forward to it. Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
that'll
slip
be
into
great.
some hardware tech news.
Get your FPS on with hardware and tech news.
And we're going to turn this over to Tarl, and he has some things to say. Go ahead, Mr. Tarl.
Yeah, okay, thanks, guys. I have 1 or 2 things to say because tomorrow, I don't know if you're aware, but AMD are officially launching their 2 new graphics cards, the RX 9070 and the 9070 XT. So if you haven't been keeping up with that, I'll do a brief overview of the specs. They're both going to be 16 gigabytes of VRAM, GDDR6, not 7, clocked at 20 gigabytes per second. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Fast.
The XT is going to have 64 compute units, 64 ray accelerators, and 128 AI accelerators, clocking at 2400 megahertz and boosting to just under 3000. And all in all, that's just under 50 teraflops. For the non-XT, 56 compute units, 56 ray accelerators, 112 AI cores, 2000 base clock, and a 2500 boost clock. So they look interesting. They look like they've got a fair bit of power. And I think yesterday or a couple of days ago, some of the performance benchmarks were leaked. And I'll just give like some the headline here is that they've compared it to their previous generation 7900 GRE, which is a strange comparison because the non-XT version is 20% across the board faster in something like, I don't know, 30 or 40 games, and the XT is about 40% faster. It feels like that's quite a lot faster than the GRE. Why don't they compare it to something a bit more, in line? I don't know. Seems a bit strange, that, to me. But it's going to be released tomorrow, and I have a lot of thoughts on this. I wrote something down, actually. I did a blog post on my website, and
speech.
maybe if I ask Gray nicely enough, he might put a link in the doobly-doo below.
The what now?
The doobly-doo below.
The doobly-doo.
That is a new one.
Remind me, and I'll put it in the edit when we do it. Just remind me about the link and stuff.
So I wrote all my thoughts down on the blog post, but essentially, I'm worried that this is not going to be good enough, because I think the cards are going to be coming out again. Leaked prices are, I think, $649 and $699 for the XT version, which seems high, and I just don't think that anyone is going to look at those and say, well, okay, they're a little bit faster than the 5070, but it's only $50 cheaper. That's for the XT version. Right. I just don't know that that's like going to set anyone's hearts on fire. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to look at that and say, wow, I've got to get me one of those new AMD 9070s. They are amazing.
What's the price going to be on it? Do you know?
So the XT is going to be $699. And it's not going to be officially released until tomorrow, but the all of the AMD slides have been kind of leaked, and they're official slides, so it's all on there. And then the non-XT is going to be $649. So, I don't know. They look like good cards. I was really hoping that they were going to release at around about the 450 or 550 mark. This seems a bit high, but who knows? I mean, yeah.
But that might be relative, though. They're not as high as the Nvidias. So, looking at price point, you're doing better on the AMD.
But the XT is also only a smidgen faster than the 5070. So, it's if you've got the choice between saving 50 quid or getting, all of the Nvidia features, like all of your broadcast stuff that's really good for if you're doing any kind of broadcasting or live streaming, of course, all the DLSS and the better ray tracing, is it worth $50? Yeah, probably, to most people. Again, I just don't think this is going to set anyone on fire when it comes to them going out to the shop and saying, I want one of these. What do you guys think? Does it sound like, if you were going to buy a video card right now, would you consider it based on what you've seen?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Price-wise, it'd probably be more affordable to the old pocket. I mean, I would go to the shop and go, I have to buy this. And I'd probably blame the missus. I'd be like, she's telling me I have to get this. I can't get the one I want. I have to get this.
Which is true, which is factually correct.
Yeah. So, there is that. If it it'll keep you up on that end of the gaming as well. So, since I think I would. Especially, you'll save a few bucks though, wouldn't you?
It's not very. First of all, the XT is very Nvidia-esque. Giving you a model up and just giving you a tiny more performance rather than actually a nice, meaningful bump. That's very Nvidia, very sly and sneaky, I think. But I was hoping they would compete at the high end of the mid-range for a good price. It's not looking like it so far. I mean, until the boys test it out, the regular suspects we know online, we don't know for sure. I was kind of hoping, Tara, I was like, listen, can you compete like a 5080 or something? Like maybe. I know that was ambitious because I've got one of these. So I want to match them up.
I've done some very basic calculations, and it should be that the XT version should be just below performance of the 7900 XTX, which is the last year's flagship, which puts it around the same kind of performance as a 4080 Super. So if your 5080 Super is 20% better, roughly, then this is going to be 20% slower than a 5080.
Yeah, I've got 4080 Super, so no point.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that way, yeah.
I just think at this point, I get it. I think at this point, I really wanted AMD to just be like, we need to change hearts and minds here. They've got 10% market share compared to Nvidia's 90%.
Yeah.
What are they doing, honestly? Do they want to compete in the graphics card market or not?
Yeah, but
and if they do, they need to do something. It needs to be drastic.
But Carl, their money is not being made in the consumer market. They make a lot of money outside of that.
That's
They do
Nvidia
very
as well.
well.
That's all of them.
So
Yeah, no, for sure.
there's a lot of things being run on AMD's architecture. So it's they basically gave up the overall crown to Nvidia like months ago.
Yeah,
or whatever. So
I understand.
I agree with you on the surface. I agree with you. I do, but it doesn't look like they're changing their mind, especially now when you're telling me all this.
Could this be them testing the water to see, tip their little toes in, say, oh, we did this little bump. Will it, get there? And then maybe after that, if it is successful or people do go that way, maybe they'll start going, oh, let's expand it then. Let's do a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. Man. It just doesn't seem like enough to me. When you've got 10% market share, you either want to do something about that, and in that case, it needs to be pretty drastic.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's also with your competition. Like AMD's chips are selling much better because why? Because the Intel has had lots of problems, so they're stomping all over them while they're down
Getting
and
to
selling
AMD's problems shortly.
and selling a good chips. But Nvidia is not going down like that right now. So
no, but Nvidia are having a lot of problems with this current launch as well. Right? They've got melting cables, they've got black screens, they've got I think the general sentiment towards the 5000 series is not positive. So this is the perfect time for AMD to strike, right? Because it's similar to what happened in the CPU market. Intel, they got complacent and they started making mistakes, and AMD were able to capitalize on that.
Well, there's also the research graph. I mean, you can't, if a time comes where you can do something and you don't have the research until the next generation, you can't do it. I mean, what I'm saying? Like AMD just can't take their present card they just came out with, like you said, and put a couple of tweaks on it and say it's much better now. It's not in the pipeline. That's the only bummer with that kind of stuff, because you have to plot out so far in advance that it gets rough on the market. You'd be going like, oh, the market will be great for this, and by the time it actually comes out, you could be right, you could be wrong, or whatever. But we're gonna have some stories from Trev and myself about the 50 series cards, because there's been a lot of crap going on with it and stuff like that. Thank God Trev didn't buy one.
Oh man,
we're all sticking to our cards.
I'm glad he did. I genuinely think this is the worst generation of graphics card from Nvidia for a very long time. Probably the 2000 series.
It's almost like they're paying too much attention to AI, and they're kind of dropping the ball and everything else.
Gamers, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, they've got what 3,000. They've got graphics cards selling for $3,000, but this is the bottom of the stack for them. This is absolute pocket change when they've got companies that are buying AI cards in the dozens, in the hundreds even, that are worth $20,000 a pop.
Yeah.
Bad.
I wish I could pop 20 grand right away.
True. Yes, that'd be nice.
That'd be good. All right. Well, to keep on rolling with the hardware tech news, we're going to go to Trev. He's got a few things we can chat about. So take it away there, Mr. Trev.
Yeah. So as I showed you before, I haven't built this yet, but it is basically a 9800 X3D, which I've had in my possession for Fortnite and done nothing with. But I can't return it now because it's a 2-week bloody return window for scan. And I'm learning that there's 9800s that are melting. So literally what I think's happened is AMD got into bed with Intel and caught some disease, right?
Yep.
And the same thing's happened
Cyber
there.
herpes.
These CPUs have been sleeping around. They picked up some digital herpes, as Matt said, and they've got the same bloody burning thing. Well, it's not exactly the same. I joke mostly, but no, I think I'll probably be okay. Essentially, several people were reporting that they were experiencing widespread crashing failure incidents on their machine. Came from multiple folk on Reddit, which you take with a... It is great. Yes. Digital herpes is real, 100%.
There is a support team out there if you need us.
Don't get it. Don't get it, mate. Anyway, you should get digital herpes at your age. You're fine, mate. So yeah, there's a lot of right. There's a lot of crashing going on at the moment. A lot of issues with machines just kind of stopping dead. And of course, this is the main thing that came to light. This was a burning of a CPU. Actually, smoke coming out of it. Right now, there is a mega thread on the Asus ROC subreddit, so it's more prevalent to these guys. How do you put it? Is it AS ROC? Asus ROC? Asus ROC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it's happening more
ROG.
supposedly. Yeah, on the Asus ROC motherboard boards.
It's mostly with them, but it can happen with anyone. I can't remember I think I said this, Taro, you weren't on the show, I think, last, or maybe you were, when I was talking about the what this back to front bloody motherboard's called, Project Zero.
Yes, it was. Yes,
Yeah,
Project
yeah.
Zero for Asus at least. Yeah.
Cool. Well, this is it's MSI or something. It's another company, and I thought it was brilliant that you could do this. And why is it taking this long to actually get to this stage? I don't think I will be liable with this. I'll have this problem. What I'm going to do is Asus ROC they were suggesting just update the BIOS of your motherboard immediately, and that should solve the problem. But a cheeky BIOS update fixes a lot of things.
Yeah,
That's the first thing I'll be doing. Because
Trev, can I jump in a little bit on this one?
please,
Is that
man.
okay? Because I think I might have a bit more up to date info from just today. I think
just today.
somebody's
Okay, that'll be why.
someone's collected all of the information on this, and it looks as though it's actually all on ASRock boards. So, and I think ASRock have put out a statement as well, saying that it's something to do with RAM. No, I don't know exactly what's happening there, but they're saying something about the RAM speeds doing something. I literally
fast,
just heard
maybe?
it and read it for like 5 seconds, so I don't have any detail. But what I did collect from it was that I think it is just on ASRock boards. They're claiming it's to do with the RAM, and they've put out a BIOS update which should fix it. So I don't actually think it's anything to do necessarily with the 9800 X3D. It just probably happens to be that most of them have been on those
there was
because
something wrong with it.
so many people have bought them.
Yeah, you'd be seeing it on other boards across the board. Get it?
Yeah,
But
and I don't think that's the case.
Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly. So that's actually good news for AMD because I'm sure they're not happy, but they don't need bad press, especially since they've been stomping on Intel. So obviously, ASRock probably came out right away for two reasons: one, they need to, and two, AMD's probably going, "It's your fault. Say something."
Yeah, for sure.
That does make some sense because I mean, the article I was reading. Of course, we always take these things with a pinch of salt, guys. We don't read them out as if they're gospel, actual factual information. I don't look when I find a news article that's interesting. I don't then look for 2 or 3 versions of it to try and match it up. Maybe I should, but I'm not a journalist. I'm a podcaster, so
We're not journalists, right? We just talk shit on the podcast.
We get
so.
it's amateurish. It's amateur hour, and we're very good at being amateurs. No, this said initially, Tarl, that these guys thought initially that either the processors were turning up dead on arrival or dying out after a few days or weeks of use, and they thought it could happen to anyone. But then you've just literally read that from today, so that is good news. I will still update the BIOS of my machine. It's the first bloody Windows update I will do when I got
yours
on.
is an Asus board, right?
No, yes, but I'm switching machines, so
What's your new motherboard then?
Paper mache.
MSI. Just
Oh,
looking
cool.
at it
Okay.
now.
You should be fine then. From what I can see, you should be fine.
Yeah,
I like Matt's version better, paper mache.
Yeah.
The PM 4860, like paper mache.
modular AO as well. So you know.
Paper mache edition. So, listen, I don't think AMD were going to suffer the same full-blown problems as Intel, but no one's squeaky clean in this, and
Yeah.
more testing needs to be done. I'm not going to just go picking Intel and bashing them. Competition is good. They should be testing more thoroughly, and I'm talking about testing hundreds of processors actually, essentially, or doing better QA checking on batches of them as you go forward. So that
Everyone's trying to save money at the moment.
yeah, including them. Break it in.
Just look at all the gaming companies, right? They've none of them got any QA departments anymore. They've literally fired everyone that's in QA.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think this is a common sentiment across the board. It's the first place where people try and save money. Let's cut some corners, boys.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's in the long run. That's terrible. I mean, you really.
It happens in games as well, doesn't it? All the time we
But
see it.
It's been
That's the
happening in
big
games
issue.
for some time. Yeah.
The shareholders don't care about the long run, though, do they, Gray?
No, of course not. It's always about money. I've always said that. It's all about money. It's
all about money. We live in a capitalist society, right? So
Got to keep
Yeah,
my
but
rank to a minimum.
let's back up for a second. We live in a capitalist society, and yet we had better results years ago. It's because greed's taken over. It's not really a matter of
what
you know what I'm saying.
No, hang on. Can't think of the right word. Capitalism. Rewards greed. That's the system. That is literally the system.
Right, but what I'm saying is, there's been plenty of instances before this where it's been fine, and they made their money, they were happy, and they put out a great product. Now it's like you said, when you cut too many corners, ultimately it's going to kill you.
I think all of the pressures and the inflation, all of the costs rising, everything's rising, everything's closing in, right? So everyone's like, okay, we got to save more money, we got to cut here, we got to lay off these people, we got to not do this quality checking. It's just getting more and more and more of of having to squeeze everything. There'll be a popping point, I'm sure of it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. Well, there always will be. It comes to an end at some point. People's frustrations boil over.
The total and absolute breakdown of society.
Oh, I'm getting too political now.
Wow, we're getting deep, man. It's like the Civil War movie, man, but with like gamers and the gamer version of Civil War, basically.
I know
Come
we're
on, who's with me, guys? Let's march on the streets.
I know we're tangent specialists, but still.
Yeah, it's back
We're
on
playing
track,
games
boys.
on typewriters next.
I'm up for that if you are. If it's multiplayer, I don't mind.
Can you get Snake on that?
No, far too advanced. Far too advanced, yeah.
I'm out.
So I mentioned this a few times in the past. People get sick of it. I don't really care. Switch 2, probably rumours releasing in June.
No, you're not mentioning Switch 2 again, are you? My goodness.
Yes, yeah. You're getting back.
What,
You're
the
buying
Switch
one as
2?
well.
I didn't even know that was a thing. What the hell?
No. It is. No. And then there'll be a
Never heard of
Switch 3 and a Switch 4 and a Switch 5, all officially confirmed and releasing within the next few years. No, I want one. Matt will get one. He jokes there, but he'll get one because he's got a kid. It's a perfect alibi. Whereas I'm just a big kid at heart, so I'll get one anyway.
Priced as well, so.
I want to play Zelda at more than 30 FPS. I want to be able to play at least 1080 60. Thank you very much. Maybe more.
What is the price actually?
Well, rumoured to be, it's again rumours, always rumourville, $400, which is excellent. We thought it might be more than that. $400 would be reasonable. That will translate to cheaper, and as Nintendo tend to not do it like for like. They actually know how the economy works and how currencies.
Unlike PlayStation, but yeah.
Yeah, just do 10-10. It's not how it works, boys. So hopefully it would be like about $350 for us. Maybe $380 at a high push, which is all right.
What was the original Switch price? Does anyone
It
remember?
was $350 or something, $350, and that's the OLED, the most recent one they had out. So it's not much of an increase, man. It's a bit of an increase. That's fine. I've never had a problem with companies charging more for things as time goes on. Inflation. I have a problem with greed and going way above when you don't need to, purely just to make money. Not
Nvidia,
against you, Taro, making profit in your business and your private life. We're
Profit,
all
God,
pennies.
that would be amazing.
Yeah. But we're not greedy. We don't need loads and loads of money. We just need money to pay the bills and buy a few games and get a few beers at the end of the week. All we need. But we've got this Direct coming out in April, which will basically show us all about this console, and you can play it in places around the world in April and May. I didn't even bother signing up to that because the closest place is London, and I'm nowhere fecking near London, so I couldn't be arsed. But I'll probably buy it anyway. They should release reveal dates or reveal release dates. Even words are a problem today.
What was the month you said it was going to go on sale? You think?
Probably June. So that's very good from showing it to the world in April to releasing it 2 months later, because they want to get it in the start of summer so that all the kiddies, their parents will buy it for the kiddies going on holidays and whatnot. Great. So it's a masterstroke, and they've been making these consoles for months already. hence the leaks. Like they wanted, that's why it's delayed. It was supposed to be at the end of last year. It got delayed because they wanted to make enough of them so that there wouldn't be any scalping. Which, respect, fair play Nintendo. If that is the case, then I'll take my hat off to you. But yeah, so hopefully June I'll get a pre-order in when one goes live April time ish, and hopefully it's not too expensive.
Is there going to be a new Zelda game?
No, because the last one's not even 2 years old, maybe 2
You
years.
want a new Mario game then?
Nah, that's the rumour. There hasn't been a 3D Mario game since Mario Odyssey on 2017. Yeah, so
Wow, really?
yeah, full blown
So
solo
long
Mario
ago.
platformer. Yeah, so that's the rumour. But be able to run your other games at more FPS, higher resolution, DLSS. That's what I need. That's what I need in my 85-inch telly, because Zelda will look absolutely mince on an 85-inch TV. Otherwise.
Can I buy it cheaper over here and bring it over when I come see you?
I cannot confirm or deny, Gray, in case this is used as evidence and we're liable. But yeah, you can. Yeah. We'll talk about that. I was trying to get him to bring over my Star Trek models that I ordered from Tommy.
Yes.
But
what did he get?
Gray's been selfish. He's coming over in June instead of October, so I can't. No, they do the replicas, so it's the Enterprise A refit, and I ordered 2 so that I could sell one and keep one. And I said to Gray, "Can I send them to your address, mate? Rather than using a forwarding company, it'd be cheaper." And I'll just sort the postage out at my end, and Gray will send them. He'll play with one for a little bit. I said you can open one, play about with it, and then seal it back up again and send it on. So, tangent central, but I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna send Trev a video of me taking the Enterprise and going wee.
And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, it's not a toy, don't do it, no.
And then all of a sudden they drop it. Oh no.
Oh yeah, and you could just see me turn up 2 days later, battering on his door, $2,000 in a flight to just kill him. It'd be worth it. It'd be worth it.
I know it's a side tangent, but it's fun to talk about. When I was looking at Fan Home, I think that's a company that's making the
not
replicas.
OnlyFans, Fan Home.
OnlyFans, okay.
No,
so,
it's not Fan Home. No, sorry, mate. It's Tommy. Tommy make the toy replicas. Fan. That was pretty good, actually. That was pretty good.
Fan Home sells them?
Fan Home do the subscription model of the small ships. You're getting the 2 companies mixed up. And I've got a rant about them, but that's not.
Well, what's the one
podcast
that's $95? Is that the smaller one or the bigger one?
That's Fan Home.
Yeah, plus let's hear the rant.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is when I looked at Fan Home and I saw the model, yay big or whatever, the thing I noticed is, okay, that it's metal and it's nice and everything. And then they go to put it on the stand, and the stand has this cheap plastic piece of crap that you stick it on. So if the stand breaks, you're out a stand. You got to go order this stupid plastic piece. I'm like, really? You're going to sit there and charge that kind of money and make a really cool ship with the whole 9 yards and metal and whatever, and then you get this cheap plastic stand that busts.
It's always been the case, mate. That's their XL model. But no, the ones I'm talking about are actual. They're like 30 inches or something like that. They're way bigger. It'll take up my whole display cabinet, and they're massive boxes. It'll cost a lot to ship it and import tax and stuff, but it's worth it.
I'm afraid to ask how much they cost.
About $600 each.
Jeez.
It's not really that bad when you consider the size of it, though.
I ordered 2, and they don't sell to the UK directly. You have to literally get them sent to somewhere in the US, a forwarding company, and they'll send it on to you when they're released. But they'll charge you a premium to do that. So send it to Gray. I've done this before. I arrange shipping on my end, and Gray just takes it to the drop-off place and sends it on, and it's cheaper that way. And I will sell one in the UK to try and get some of that money back because they don't sell them here. Anyway, sorry, massive tangent.
We actually are not doing that. I just want to let you know.
This is not capes and phasers.
This is just a theoretical situation.
Anyway, right. Let's talk about our. deck cards.
This is Matt's
get our deck
favorite.
cards.
Deckhard.
Let's get our deck card. Deckard, yes.
Yes, Deckhard.
Valve Deckhard VR headset. Right, that's a mouth twister.
It's a code name.
You get a
Man,
big
we're
mouth.
talking
I
about
thought we
your
were going to be talking
favorite,
about Blade
Deckhard.
Runner there.
Oh no, not that's
doing
Deckard, is it
Deckhard.
not? Is that not Deckard? Is that his name, Deckard?
Yeah, that's the guy's name from Blade Runner. Yeah.
I know Matt is excited. His deck card is for the VR headset from Valve. Yeah, that's a thing. He talked about it before.
Deckhard.
Yeah.
He talked about it before, but there is more information.
Sometimes it gets that way.
You're too old for you getting on as well with the white hair, mate. So
When you take a pill or two.
Soft. That'll be the soft hard version for you. They'll do 2 versions of console. They'll do soft hard and deck hard. right? And you'll be getting the S model. So
Yeah.
Anyway, listen.
And they got your travel
Behave
option
yourselves.
called the Semi.
There's been a lot of talk about penises on this show. I just want to point that out.
There is.
I try and move on, man. These
Sorry.
two are
Don't say
bad.
the actual word. We keep people guessing. You know.
I'm just saying, I thought that, we were going to be doing specials, and if we were, this is basically the penis special.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, look. Seriously though, why would they name it Deckhard? I think that's one of the stupidest
It's
names.
just a code. It's probably a Blade Runner thing, like Tal
Yeah,
just
It's a
said.
Blade Runner thing. Yeah.
It's always codes, mate, even though it's obvious what it bloody is now. Listen, right, serious hats on. Behave yourselves, you're naughty.
Okay.
I'll put you in the corner.
I'm being very serious now.
Late 2025, this is rumoured to come out, which is just around the corner. That's very, very quick. 1,200 doll hairs, right? That's a lot of doll hairs, but it's a standalone unit. It's the next best thing. You don't have the light boxes around the room, and that might translate to about £900 for us if they don't be arses at Valve.
That's wishful thinking.
I know, big F, I know, mate, and it's reasonable. It'll be $999, and I'll take that if it's 200 less.
I'll stick with my Quest 3.
Your Quest 3. Well, no, Quest 3, I wouldn't necessarily upgrade from that unless you're enthusiast, and I'm not an enthusiast.
I'm not upgrading from it.
But for me, this could be very interesting because they were one of the first guys to bring out the Valve Index, the VR headset. It was phenomenal. It was really, really good. And they took the time to bring this one out. But they've been working on SteamOS. Remember that's been a thing? That was a thing. So SteamOS is going to be baked into this, another rumour as well, which makes sense. It really makes sense to just do the whole ecosystem properly first time.
SteamOS is going to be big, guys. It's going to be big. I'm calling it now.
I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, Taro. I hope you were on that one as well, but you probably heard it if you weren't. I said that
we
was
had a bit
getting
of a
released.
chat about it,
Yeah, it makes sense. You can't just release the badge and then anyone can bring out whatever they want. You have to have standards and policies, and Valve are doing that.
I genuinely think that SteamOS will change the landscape of gaming. I really do.
Yes. It'll be a mainstream on machines, on handhelds, on VR headsets. I think Apple, but this is Valve's version across multiple devices.
But what about PCs? Do you have to make a virtual machine and run SteamOS on it and play games?
No,
you'll just be able to buy a little
standalone
handset or just a little box and to put it on your TV. It'll be like a little console. It'll just be a Steam console.
I thought you meant for the Valve.
Well, for both.
VR headset.
I think it's going to change the whole landscape, really.
I think it'll be baked into the VR headset, mate. I think their OS on the Deckhard will have SteamOS already in it. But
I think this one is meant to be essentially a Steam Deck for your eyes. That's what I've heard. Like it's just literally going to be a Steam Deck that goes on your face.
Yep. It's that would be my guess as well. The first one, the Valve Index, released 2019. It seems older than that. I don't know why it feels older than that. $1,000, and that's €1,079. So, and then that was obviously Half-Life Alyx was a thing. That is easily by a country mile the best VR game I've ever played. Phenomenal. That's how you make a VR game, people.
Still haven't played it. I should play it.
Oh, mate, so good. But yeah, so it'll be good competition for Quest 3 and Quest 3S, but they're cheaper, so they'll have their own separate categories there. So yeah, I probably wouldn't get that. I'm not enthusiast enough to get that, but I still love it. I remember getting the first one originally, Taro, the Valve Index. We were hard to get. I was a bit naughty. I kept the game, played the game on the headset, and then sold it. Well, I played the game on a Quest 2, but then didn't ever open the Index and sold it on eBay and got lots of money. So yeah, I'm naughty. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on from there. The last thing I have got is Nvidia are not safe from the firing line when it comes to hardware problems. You boys have probably heard of this. I'd imagine around 1 in 200 of their new 5000 or 50 series GPUs are missing some render units, which are kind of important for graphics cards, right?
A little bit.
Can I need them? But I don't know. They haven't said what happened. They've just acknowledged it because they get called out. You should acknowledge it before you called out Nvidia. I'm just saying, boys. But essentially, this article I'm reading here has fewer. Some of these graphics cards have fewer render output units. ROPs. You might have heard that phrase before. For example, an RTX 5090 is supposed to have 176, but some users were reporting only 168. Now, you might not notice, you might not care, but at that level, you probably do notice and probably do care. You pay so much money for the card. The only way you would notice is to actually run an app that would detect it, like what's the one?
GPU-Z.
GPU-Z, that's the one. Thank you, mate. And you've got the CPU one as well. You run them, they'll actually tell you everything about the chip, and it'll actually tell you how many ROPS it's actually actively running. I would recommend people do that they've got a 50 series card, because you can get a refund or a replacement from whoever you bought it from.
If I'm spending $2,000 on a graphics card, you better believe I fucking want all of it.
Yes, 100%, man. 100%.
If I'm spending $2,000 on a card, I'm going to take that card. If it has the right amount of ROPS in it, I'm going to send it back and say, put more in. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
but you know what?
I want you to put more in.
There are going to be people that won't send it back because they probably had to sell their leg to get the first one.
Very good point, actually. Yeah, that's because they're very hard to get. That's interesting what will actually happen with that, because Nvidia were saying basically get it replaced, refunded, or just part with it.
With what?
They were your options.
They don't exist.
Or that's why the third option was there to put up with it. Like, really? No, I'm sorry, man. People will notice the FPS. Some people buy these cards and they don't want to rely on DLSS 4.0. They want pure just raster performance. And they might actually notice a dip of 10, 15 FPS if they've got a really, really keen eye for this kind of thing. So,
well, what they should do is notify the people if the problem is there, and say, like, we'll let you know when we have more in stock. And that way you just keep playing with it until they tell you it's in stock.
Unfortunately, return policies don't work that way, Gray.
Yeah, well, if only.
I'm saying what they should do is right, because
that is definitely what they should do. Absolutely. And by the way, I think the amount that Nvidia are reporting doesn't seem to be correlating with what seems to be the case out in the world. I think Nvidia said 0.5% of the total cards,
1 in 200.
Yeah, but from what I've seen, it's looking to add up to something like 4 or 5%.
Well, this article was a day old, so things move really quickly in this industry, as you know. It very well could be. I'd believe that. We're probably downplaying it on the information that was available to us at the time. I would believe it's more, because 0.5% of all cards is still a bit shit, actually. It's not ideal.
And how do they know it's 0.5 within, like, such a short period of time? Are they able to just go and count all the... So what my point is, they knew that this happened. They knew that this was an issue before those cards went out the door.
Before they were called out, Tarl. That's my major gripe here. People can make mistakes. It's about being honest up front and doing something about it. But they didn't until they get called out, and they admitted it. So
unless they're basing it on reports to them about it, but if that's the case, then there's a lot more that are having problems with it that haven't checked yet.
I mean, they've got how many thousands of people? Something like that is never going to happen in a day turnaround, or a couple of days.
They're one of the richest companies in the world, if not the richest. They're always trading blows with Apple and whomever. They're always switching places. They're one of the top 2 or 3 in the world, so that's not good enough. Anyway, there's a lot of tech news there, but I mean, a lot of stuff's happened recently, so that's just the way it is. Matt, if you are available and the shit's not hitting the fan, you have some stuff you would like to talk about. Sorry, Graham, I'm taking over your spot here, man.
Hey,
what am I like?
Hey,
there you go.
Now wait, I'm gonna repeat the same thing he just said. So Matt, no, go on.
You should have, man. You wasted a great opportunity for
if
content.
I want to do that, because I don't know.
We're moving on then.
Wait, is that a blues song? Let me get out the guitar. Hold on.
You realize our colleague that's Brivlin that's actually running the marathon is probably, we actually probably killed him with boredom, or
he's probably walking backwards
crashed.
now. Yeah,
he probably is. I'm so sorry, man. I hope you finished it.
I think he probably cracked up on the digital herpes thing, and then that was the end of the race.
You might have digital herpes. You need to be careful, man.
That's it.
A lot of people out there running about. So, anyway,
it's time for game news.
That's it.
So, Matt, how was the game? Or games that you played?
Games. So I tried a couple of demos. I think, Greg, you dropped a couple of gamey thingies down on the old Chatteroonies. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, ooh, let me have a look.
Chatteroonies.
So there you go. Yeah. So one of them was deliver at all costs, which is a interesting.
Were you an Amazon delivery driver?
Yes, yeah, and it was exactly like
it. Exactly. Pretty
much. Yeah.
Sounds wild.
It is. It was crazy. A lot of people were not happy. Let's just put it that way. in game, anyways. I was happy. I was like, "Wait, I could do this for a living."
And it was sober as well.
Yeah,
best
yeah,
of
I
all,
was
man.
sober. Yeah, it's probably why. To be honest, yeah.
By the way, Matt, I saw the clip. I was cracking up. I looked at the funniest thing I ever seen. A car just crashed into everything just to deliver something.
Yeah, yeah.
It was great. But what happened, no, Matt? Go ahead, explain the game because it looked cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So this game is kind of like a top-down. It's kind of like GTA kind of vibey driving sort of thing going on, which is quite interesting. So yeah, let me just get into this bit, and then I'll tell you about my little demo game part of it as well. So yeah, so it's a buzz with excitement for this. So it's an action-packed adventure set in the 1950s, sorry. But it kind of has an apocalyptic look to the world. I don't know whether that's supposed to be that way because there's a lot of broken roads, broken pavements and stuff. So I kind of didn't get that part. And it looks kind of messy on it. So I don't know whether they did that on purpose or they think that's what the 50s were like. Maybe it was. I don't know. I wasn't there. Yeah, so from there, you step into the shoes of this guy called Winston Green, my name is, who's a fiery-tempered courier with a mysterious past, navigating a city full of chaos and destruction. You could drive into anything, buildings, and it wrecks them, which is fantastic, and it also wrecks your vehicle at the same time. So at this, you have to tackle bizarre deliveries, going through missions. You can go through things, smash vehicles. You can make your car jump up and down as well, which is quite interesting. The controls of it is mad. It's absolutely mad. It takes you a while to actually get through it. So from there, it's quite interesting. It's a very gripping, interesting story. So I think it's been divided the story into 3 different acts.
You get to have a different car each time.
I think you're gonna have to, yes. Especially if you're driving like me, you're gonna need multiple cars. But you are given at the beginning a little truck thing, what do you call them, flatbeddy kind of truck.
Flatbed.
Yeah, sort of thing. Where you go off with your deliveries.
American car, the old flatbed. We don't have them much here because if you remember Clarkson on the Grand Tour showing why you can't drive a flatbed around the UK because he comes out the shop and everything's been nicked from the back of his flatbed.
Yeah, so it's like a Ford one sort of thing. Yeah, it's like a Ford Transit. What do you call it? Ford.
We're not as trusting as the Yanks.
No, true. So there you go.
What was that?
No, you guys are more trustworthy. That's what I'm saying. It's a compliment.
Yeah. So there you go.
We don't nick stuff from flatbeds. Anyway, Matt, carry on, my man.
Yeah. So the good music, nice design of the game completely there, quite atmospheric, and a good storytelling game.
I like how they say it's atmospheric, just smashing into things.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything goes haywire there. Yeah. So you can also play it on PlayStation 5, Xbox. It's on Steam, Epic Store. So there you go with those. Yeah. So my first part of when I got into it is you start in this flat, studio flat sort of thing where everything's there. You get yourself dressed. It's a little bit of a storyline to it. You know, oh, this is happening. Oh, there's a letter. Let me read that. Let me go get a job. You go get a job, you get a truck, you get the truck, you get your deliveries, you get up. There you go. Yeah, so with my one, yeah, I had to pick up fireworks. And one goes off when the guy is trying to put it into your truck. And he goes, nah, and runs off. I ain't touching this. He's gone. So I'm like, why has he done that? So I went off and picked it up and put it in my truck and started driving. As soon as I start driving, the fireworks are going off left, right, and center. Into people, into shops, blowing things up, going into vehicles. Vehicles are going off the road and smashing. I'm smashing into vehicles and into fireworks at the same time and lose my wheels halfway through. So
sounds like real life.
It does, yeah. So I've got no wheels. I can't go nowhere. What am I going to do? I'm going to get out.
You could ride on the rims for a while.
Yeah, you think you could, but no. And I tried to jump the vehicle. The vehicle's jumping up and down. Nothing's happening. people getting mad and angry at me. I don't know why. I'm just doing my job. So yeah, I'm getting out. I'm looking around, say, what can I do? I need another vehicle. I can't carry on. And people are coming at me left, right, and center, going, "What are you doing?" and pushing me, kicking me to the floor. And I'm like, oh, "This isn't on." And then I get back up, another firework goes off, and then another person comes in, gives me a slap. I'm on the floor again, and I'm like, "What the hell?" So I'm getting up, I'm pushing people. "Ha, you're on the floor now. How'd you like it?" So now I'm going in there, and I'm going to kick this fella. Can I kick him? No, because another firework.
This content, it's great.
Yeah.
It's epic.
That's
You've
it.
actually got all the money.
Yeah. Another guy's come up behind me, and he's kicked me to the floor. I'm on the floor again. And I'm like, my God. So I get myself
This game
back.
sounds wild.
It does. I get myself back up
No, it's
again.
probably not as wild as that, but Matt can make anything sound amazing. It's a skill set that he's got.
I went to Royal Mail. I delivered my post. My post got delivered. I went that way. I saw the postman. I said hello. Not the same.
It
says,
sounds
I
more and more
ain't
like
got
one-
This is club goodness. This is club goodness.
I haven't got your post. Where's my post? I don't know. Somebody's got it. So there
This
it
is.
I think I have to play this game. This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted, man.
It
I'm
is.
Sounds more and
exhausted.
more like Monty Python every second.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your car's not dead. It is. It is dead.
Matt,
It's not sleeping.
I've got a question for you, right? What's your opinion on demos? Remember back in the day, you used to get them on CDs, right, and DVDs, and at the good times, right? I never bother anymore, ever with demos. But Steam's got this next festival on at the moment where thousands of demos are released. Hence why you're playing these demos at the moment.
Well, they've been
I
doing
don't
this
see the
for
point.
quite a while now with the with this demo things. They brought in. I mean, you got some demos on there, but you don't get like the huge amounts that you get now.
Right.
And they Steam have been doing this now for at least 3 or 4 months now. Yeah, after Christmas they did it. Yeah, where are we
What's
now?
your thoughts? Do you like them? Do you agree with? And that's an open question for everyone.
It's kind of good because it saves you from getting these early access non-playable things, and that kind of rolls into the next one that I'll mention as well because that
Right.
one's quite interesting. But yeah, I think it's quite good because it gives you a little. Am I going to like this? Am I not going to like this? I don't know. Well, now you can tell because you can play a bit of it. You know.
Yeah.
Can you get early access demos as well, like an early access game?
Well, yeah, I think that's called early access, isn't it?
No, demo for an early
it really?
access.
Yeah. Well, maybe this might answer it. The next one might answer that question because it's an interesting kind of one.
Anyway, we're going to talk about game news. I've got a couple things to talk about that I thought were kind of interesting. Warner Brothers, this is going on and on. We've talked about this a lot on our past podcasts and so forth. How the toll of people being fired from gaming companies is getting. We thought it was out of hand a while ago. It's gone way past that.
It's a lot, man.
But Warner Brothers has lost a lot of money on their last batch of games and stuff on some of them. So they've decided to not only close one studio, not only close 2 studios, they're closing 3 studios.
And one's not been open for that long, or one was bought recently.
It's crazy. So Monolith gone, Player First Games gone, Warner Brothers Games San Diego gone. So all these things are closing down, and along with it is a game they've been working a while on, which is a Wonder Woman game, to which they were going to use the Nemesis system. And the Nemesis system was used in Shadow of Mordor, the 2 games in Shadow of War, which actually is a cool system. If you haven't played those games, they're a lot of fun.
No jiggle physics, boo.
With the there's that no,
Boobs.
but that could have been there too. So that game goes under like other games that have been made or close to being made and have gone under as well. And basically, they've said in the quote they have we have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. So that's their answer. So every gaming company, and Ubisoft's doing this too, and a few other ones, they're all kind of going to, I guess you would say, the safe point, and the safe point would be the IPs that are done the best for them. Again, back to the money thing and the shareholders and stuff. Doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just as long as the sequels to the IP are good. So Mortal Kombat has consistently been good, so that's a good example. They're already on number 11 and 12's coming or something. Harry Potter is still relatively new, but the game Legacy has done really well. So they're not going to make any kind of experiments anymore. They're not going to take chances anymore. Many of the big companies aren't taking chances anymore, and the only way you're going to get companies to take a chance or to do something different are going to be the indies. So the indies are really moving up.
Great, sorry. Can I just ask you a question? Do you think it's about taking chances or risks, or do you think it's just about making good products or bad products?
Well, I mean, I guess what I mean by the risks is that their risk to them is making something that's not one of their IPs. Now, to us, it's in the old days, not long ago, a lot of them would always decide to go off on another game, let's say, or maybe try to start an IP, a new IP of some sorts, and they would either be successful or they wouldn't. But at least because they put more quality into the games usually were decent, even if they didn't develop into a new IP. But these days, when they try something else, the game is terrible. On top of the fact that they get lazy, and we're going to do a special about that, like I said, or we've been talking about. But they get to the point where they're going into their safe zone. So there's two ways to look at it. I'll use Ubisoft for an example real quick. I love Assassin's Creed. Am I going to sit there and tell you that, yeah, there is some cut and paste going on with Assassin's Creed? Yes. Would I rather not see that? Yes. But I still enjoy the games because the quality is still fairly high. But I do miss the fact that, they should get a little more original.
You should change your username to copy and paste.
Yeah, but when Shadows comes out, I'm going to be very curious to see how they handle it, because they've been talking about how they've changed up the systems and everything. Now, I saw gameplay of Shadows, and I was very pleasantly surprised that some of the things that they did change actually look quite good and quite exciting. So I can't wait to play the game. But if that's the point. Sorry, Greg. The point I think I was trying to push towards was these companies seem to think that making a game with a known IP is the safe bet. Surely making a game that is just good and that people will enjoy is the safe bet, right? Because that means people will buy it and enjoy it and play it and love it. That's my point. I just don't. I don't understand what they're thinking. It's a good point, but I think they seem to be thinking that if they're gonna spend the time and effort to make a good game, like they should always anyway, that they would rather make a good game out of their IPs that they've been successful with, because even if they aren't quite as successful with their IP, it's still going to sell enough to where they're not going to lose their butt.
Yeah.
So that's why they do it. And now
the crucial point is that it's good.
Exactly. So we're going to see that. I think that for Ubisoft, Shadows is going to be the turning point. If it comes off the way I see it, I think they'll be okay with it. If they don't, then it's gonna be bad. It's been bad enough as it is, for them. So we're gonna see. But the thing I do like about it, and we've talked about it before in this podcast, is the fact that the indies have really gone up a few pegs, and now we're having some people come forward to be like the best of the indies. I guess, for lack of a better way to explain it. And you get your games like Enshrouded and a few other ones. So that's kind of exciting that somebody, those companies are there to fill the void, which is good. I saw a little note that said Bloomberg said that WB's gaming division lost $300 million last year. That's a lot, but I don't think that number's right. I think they lost more than that. I really do. But even if it's only that, that's an awful lot. So we're going to see what happens, from this point forward. Anyway,
share that horrible, Matt. You better share.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'll show you my hairy bow.
You seen the commercial with the two NFL players?
Yeah.
They're eating the Haribo gummies.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually really funny.
It is good. It's a good one. They did a sequel to it now. There was another one where they changed what they were saying. So it's the same kind of commercial. It's the same guys, the same bench they're sitting on. But what they're saying is different, which was kind of interesting.
Talking about graphics
it was a funny commercial. Matt, did you want to cover your body records and then I'll come back on my stuff, or what?
You can finish your bit that you're on.
All right, I'll finish mine and then we can go on to your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is I thought this was kind of, I don't know if I was looking at it to be humorous or what, but basically it says they were talking to a game dev and she expressed that the teen audience, which is what they're going after, I guess, more, I said they don't care about romance. They don't care about sex and romance being in the games. They would rather just, play the games and blow things up and, whatever. And it was interesting because a lot of game companies have already started wandering away from romance options. The only exception has been Baldur's Gate, and they introduced all the romance, options that you would have seen in older games. So I'm thinking to myself, I said, well, is that really correct? But I guess in a way it is, because if I had a choice and I had to sit there and go like, well, do I want to unnecessarily, have a romantic relationship with every character in the game, or do I just want the game to be really good and I'll
Matt does.
Exactly. But there's other games.
Even the farmer down the road.
There's other games in hint that you can play with to get that. If that's what you want. They're out there. But in the game itself,
work.
What was that?
Sorry, that's a rant. That's a rant off air. They don't work.
So I can understand that, and since a lot of them don't have romance options, really, to be honest, it doesn't seem to be, really anything different. So it was interesting that they brought it up, but apparently, if they're correct on this study that they did, it says 73% of young people ages 16 to 24 say, and this is actually a statistic that's actually kind of sad. Anyway, they said 73% of young people ages 16 to 24 say they sometimes or always feel alone. Many report feeling sad and hopeless. This guy attributes this to the state of the world, climate change, social media feeds, etc. Now that's another whole story we're not going to get too deep into, on this kind of show.
We won't
but
go
the point is
America
that,
on that one.
Right, but the point is that I can understand that. Mm-hmm. So they want their games to be more how they can form friendships with the other characters, NPCs or whatever, and not necessarily have to worry about romancing them. In other words, they got enough of their own problems. They don't need to have a romance. They just want to have the characters in the game be friendly and be their good friend and et cetera, et cetera. So I guess that makes sense. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Good introduction to AI into those type of games then.
Yeah, but I don't see putting that in the game or not putting in that game as a make or break for the game. Yeah. The game is going to survive not because of that. Because like I said before, if you do want a game like that, there's plenty of adult
it's got to have content, doesn't it?
Games out there that you can get all that content that you want. I mean, they're there. We don't talk about them, but they're out there.
Yeah.
But still, it was interesting that why you don't see it that much and why you probably aren't going to see it that much anymore.
Maybe we should talk about them. Maybe we can have an episode special. About
yes, and we have to air it after midnight, and we'll have to call it the Extreme Gaming Blue.
Yeah.
After dark.
Or after dark, right? Really after dark.
Game station.
Or
that is the shop, isn't it?
Okay, the next story I wanted to cover, which I think this is very important. I'm really curious your guys' feeling about this. I was rather shocked when I read this article. Apparently, it says Nvidia's 50 series cards failed to preserve our favorite games from 10 years ago. And I'm sitting there going like, well, what are they talking about? So I started reading up on this and seeing what all this is about. And apparently, Nvidia has dropped hardware accelerator physics systems in the 50 series cards. Now, if you remember some of the prior cards going back to the 20 series and even further back, Nvidia came up with a thing called physics, PHYSX, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was a groundbreaker back then because they were able to do a lot of cool things with that. Probably most notable was the Batman Arkham games that really used physics to their advantage. But apparently right now they decided, since they're junking it, that literally games that you played that you loved, like Arkham and others, that have physics in it, now that it doesn't, the 50 cards won't really run it properly. Now all of a sudden you're getting a whole different view, and it's not a good one. So they were showing some examples using Arkham as an example, and there were scenes where the older cards, not that old actually, because even I think the 40 series runs it fine, would show the scene, and you see the scene, and you see like something breaking up and glass flying and shards everywhere and all this stuff. Then they show what the 50 series cards does to the scene now, since physics is no longer there. Big difference, guys. There are no more shards running around. Sometimes all you see is light changes, and you see no shards going around. And I'm sitting there going like, no, they can't do that. And so essentially, a lot of these games that we like, not just Arkham, because Arkham's a good example, but there's many, many more games that were produced around the 2010s and so forth that are excellent, excellent games. And now you're telling me that because I might have a 50s card, that's the end of that? I mean, I'm like, that doesn't feel right. Not only does that hurt the gamer that wants to play the games again, but like they said, to preserve those games, they're going to go out the window. So this goes back to where you don't own a game. Because if you had the hard copy of the game, well, even then it probably wouldn't protect you because you still got to depend on physics. So they were saying that some of the GPU accelerated physics games were Borderlands 2, Mirror's Edge, Batman Arkham City, Metro 2033, which wasn't that long ago, Metro Last Light, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, and a bunch of others. So I want to hear your opinions, but I think that's terrible, to be honest.
It's sad. It's really saddening. Game preservation is really important. These are pieces of art, right? Not everyone thinks that, but I think that.
Me too.
And can we plug something? Can I plug something here? Is that a thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Plug.
Just leave the check at the end of the broadcast.
Let's see how it goes, and if you don't like it, just leave it out of the edit, right? So good old games, right? Good old games are doing like the best work. Thank you, good old games. Thank you, because they are doing as much as they can to preserve games that are, in my mind, pieces of art. And go and buy some games off good old games, because it's going to help, and they're going to do more great work in the future. But this is really sad for preservation of games, and I don't like it at all.
No, I think it's a real disservice that Nvidia is doing here. I think they should change this attitude and either create something that will, in the drivers maybe, or something that will actually still run physics properly. Because at this rate, they're saying that you're going to have a 40 series or lower to be able to play the games like they used to be. And they said that if you're going to get into the better graphics cards, then you better have something like maybe like an external card that's older that you can just plug in to run your games, or that you might have to run it through. And this is really stupid when you think about it. You need to run the game through the older card to get the physics, and then into the new card, and then out the new card. And I'm sitting there going like, really? I mean,
yeah. And I think, Gray, from what I understand as well, the physics engine ran on CUDA cores, and it's not like the modern cards don't have enough CUDA cores in them. They're packed full of more CUDA cores than they've ever had. So this was a conscious decision by Nvidia to just stop doing something that will mean that we don't get to play these old games anymore. And that's just shit.
It. Do they save money or something? It can't be
they
that
just don't
expensive
make
to
money
include
on it,
them.
It just makes their job a little easier, because they don't
companies
have to
don't
deal
make
with
money on old games.
They claim that because physics is more CPU intensive, that they're doing us a favor by doing this so that you don't have to tax your CPU. And I'm sitting there going, like, don't do me a favor.
Give us the option to turn it on and off then, if that's the bloody case. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
But companies don't do us favors, especially Nvidia.
Look, I guarantee you that if it isn't done now, you can probably come up with an AI algorithm solution to this, and it'll do something that'll make physics run again. I can't believe that I hope more people are reading this article or hearing us right now talking about it, because I really think they should complain, because that's insane. I mean, I've gone back to play Arkham before. Arkham is still freaking good. I mean, it really holds up, and physics is real important to that game, as well as these other ones I mentioned. So how can you just trash all that and just tell me that I'm going to put up with a game now that is not going to look the way it's supposed to look because you just trash physics? I mean, it's
a shame.
pretty stupid. What do you think, Matt?
It's happened to a few of my games that I've gone, oh, you know what, like Silent Hunter, like the first 3, even 5, I think, quite recently. And I bought another one. I can't remember what. I think it was one of the Tom Clancy games, and I tried to play it, and it wouldn't work at all. Which was annoying. I paid money for that from one of the online services, and I can't play it. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Why are you selling these games on there when I'm stuck? I can't do it, sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's outrageous. I think it's there to make their job easier to have what they want. As you said, they don't really care about the consumer side of it. And a lot of good games that started the whole thing get missed. They've done it with film. Now they're doing it with games. It's ridiculous.
It's just insane because, well, first of all, like GOG, when you mentioned Taro, if it wasn't for the fact that I guess the one reason that I really like GOG, among other reasons, is the fact when they put out the two Star Trek games, that one of the two I've ever liked was Star Trek Armada 1 and 2. And the problem is that as Windows
what's wrong with Elite Force?
has gone on and on, I haven't been able to play the games.
Elite.
Thank you.
Well, I haven't been able to play the games properly. Yeah. You know, and so because I can't play it anymore, I kind of like, oh, that's a bummer. I guess that's the end of that. You have to look for mods that might be able to run the game or whatever. But GOG came out, made it Windows compatible again, and now you can play it again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for me, that's like, yeah, man.
I'm great. They've done that with a bunch of older Star Trek games, like 25th anniversary ones. There's a bunch in there that I've got downloaded and actually paid extra for. They're not expensive. Bridge Commander's in there as well. Elite Force, you name it, they're all in there. The old games.
And they're not charging a lot. They're charging like $10.
Yeah, very reasonable prices, and that's their full blown price at this stage. Will probably have a sale as well. So, yeah.
The only thing is, with this though, physics makes a bigger dent now because I don't know if that's just something that GOG can take on and try to solve. I don't think that's gonna be.
They
capable.
can't completely agree. I don't see how they could. They are the guys at CD Projekt Red that runs them, is it not? It's their client, is it not?
Yeah.
So like one dev gaming studio can't solve that on their own. They're not the power. They don't have the same power as Valve does, which we could do a special on them as well at one point because interest.
And Valve doesn't have anything to do with this case anyway. Thinks that's the case. It's not. This seems to be solely resting in Nvidia's lap that they decided to do this. I just hope more people get upset about this and try to get this to stop, or at least give an alternative, or put something in the driver, or give us a program that we can run it through, or something that'll be okay. Because that's just. It's just freaking insane. It really is, because even more so than the games were made in the 90s, because the games in the 90s, if they're remastered or if GOG gets a hold of them like they have and we can still play them, okay, now we can still play them. But now this is actually going to eliminate these games pretty much totally. And then you'll get the people going, yeah, but you can still play them. No, you can't play them like they were meant to be played. And sometimes they won't even run. So now you're just taking God knows how many games and saying like, all right, that's shit. That's it. Can't play them. Gone. Bye.
And don't forget, guys, GOG can only do what they do if the studios that own the IP actually let them do it,
True.
And say, yeah, go ahead. We don't care about this anymore. But oftentimes they just won't let them because they're like, well, we don't want you profiting from our hard work. And it just sucks, man. Just really sucks.
So that's going to mean in the future that if I want to play like Arkham Asylum, if I don't have an old computer with an old card, I'm going to have to go to a museum to play them. Or something. I mean, that's pretty bad. Yeah, anyway, that's just our soapbox a little bit, but I think it's a serious one and that should be considered. Matt's got another game he wants to talk about that he tried. So, Matt, go ahead.
Which mine went over my head. Yeah, anywhere else.
Yeah.
You sound like Love Sausage from bloody The Boys. Jesus, man.
Oh, dear.
All right, Matt, what was the other game you played?
Oh, Sharonry.
It's Body Records, by the way.
Scary title, by the way.
Body Records. Now, this is an interesting one. Body Records, a chilling cooperative horror experience game, which has been eagerly anticipated by who? Who knows? I don't know. But it's a co-op. Yeah, it's a cooperative horror game that promised to deliver a unique experience. I mean, it was kind of unique in a way, so it kind of has done that bit. But yeah, it's developed by Mirrorwind Studios, and it blends the body cam immersion with the microphone's sensitivity, which a lot of games are doing now, which I kind of like. It makes it a bit more atmospheric to play. It's also a tense and thrilling atmosphere, as well as the eerie bit. In Body Records, players must work towards solving puzzles, evading lurking horrors. I could just go to work for that, to be honest. And escape from expansive atmospheric environments. The game features a distinctive body cam perspective, which adds to the immersion and tension. The players' voices and sound effects of the game, making microphone sensitivity a crucial element of this gameplay. It's currently in early access, as well as having a demo
yeah.
on Steam. Players have reported issues with finding active games. Yes, indeed. And joining hosted sessions. There aren't none. Can't join nothing. All you get is a main screen and join. And doing that, you can't get past it. There's nothing else there. It's ridiculous. I saw somebody hosting a game there. I was like, oh, I'll join them. No. Didn't go through. Didn't do nothing. And I'm like, is this the game? Is this it? Is this like a whole ploy of the game? The whole game is just like, you can't get in the game. That's the game. But yeah, so it's full of problems and issues, and the developers have acknowledged these issues and are actively seeking feedback from whoever's in there trying to play, or,
Which you just gave them.
I get them. Yeah, you can't do nothing in there. So yeah, this is kind of one of the good things about having the issue of early access versus demo. So they do offer early access. I wasn't going to pay for that, especially if the demo and you just get into the main screen. There's no offline mode. You can host, you can do a LAN of it, or online, join online people's service sort of thing. But it's absolutely terrible. Couldn't do anything with it. It was depressing to say the least, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a shame because I was
back at that from what I read on the description, it sounded better, but I'm glad you played it so I can avoid it.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to this. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great, because there's a few games that already do horror games that use the microphone now, and those games are brilliant. Each one has a own little specific element. You got Phasmophobia, that's brilliant. So yeah, unfortunately, this one goes straight in the bin, early access and all. Throw it in.
Okay, I'm throwing the towel on that one. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, shocking. It's like, and then I was like, maybe I should hold on to it, and then if you guys get it, maybe we can try getting it again.
It's time to move on to the other demos.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So to stay with the gaming news, Trev's got some things he wants to talk about. So go ahead, Mr. Trev.
Probably quicker, this one. Partly this is my favourite game, according to Gray. I don't even own it, and apparently it's my favourite game. So
you love
it. Favorite game, but you don't own it?
Yeah, well, according to you wrote it.
I had to drop that in there.
Bilateral's coming to the Xbox Game Pass. The next big game to come out of a small indie studio, aka one person, is only just coming to Game Pass because it's on Game Pass right now. Actually, the guy that does this, just one guy, made this addictive kind of semi poker gambling type game. I've never played it. Apparently, it's supposed to be very addictive on mobile phone, really on console, everything. I'll probably play it. I've downloaded it because it's on Game Pass, so why not? I'll give it a little try. I was kind of unsure of it. I just think it's great that it didn't go Xbox Game Pass straight away, that he was able to sell it for a decent amount of pennies for how long it's been out for, a couple of months, a few months, and then take the Xbox, the Microsoft money, because that will keep him sweet for a while longer. So, no, good for him. I'm chuffed for him. I saw it just now, so go and grab it. I don't know if you can play it in the Xbox console. I'd imagine you could do, but it's certainly definitely.
It was nominated for a bunch of awards too, and I think it won a couple.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it won.
100%.
Even if it's not my cup of tea, it's apparently a bunch of other people's.
It was shown at the Xbox showcase. It's something they done for like smaller games, indie games on Monday just there, and they'll be bringing out a DLC for Collateral as well. I had no sign of that'll be free or not. I kind of hope he charges for it because it's not a expensive game, to be honest with you. So yeah, check that out if you've been curious about it for a while, but you kind of wanted to wait for it to come to Xbox Game Pass. Now it's there, go and try it. I feel like it's very, very small download.
How does the whole revenue sharing thing work on Game Pass?
They get a check. They basically just get a check up front, mate, and there'll be different tiers in there, like how many downloads and all that kind of stuff you're able to achieve. You might get some more, but up front you definitely get a big check off of Microsoft, and then it'll be there for a limited period of time. So yeah, it works out for him. This is, I think we mentioned this before, God of War remasters could be announced on the franchise's 20th anniversary. Now, I'm on record, I think I said to Gray, I wasn't really interested in playing God of War 1, 2 or 3 because I love the Norse mythology of God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. I wish you'd just done a third one to tie it all up, but I don't think they're going to do that. So God of War 1, 2, and 3 get remastered, hopefully. God of War 3 was already remastered, so maybe they just throw that in for free. You have to, you struggle to find them unless you get a disc, that God of War 1 and 2. You can do PlayStation's kind of virtual gaming thing about the PlayStation Plus. You can play games streaming wise that way. It's never the same as owning a physical disc. So I would be great. I hope they do announce that and it's a reasonable price. I would be tempted to then go back into try God of War, because although I'm not into the Greek mythology, if it's remastered, looks shiny and whatnot, it's a reasonable price, or it, you know, we could get a decent price for us PC gamers. I would be tempted there. So watch this space. That would be, trying to see when their anniversary would be. It's definitely up shortly. I was trying to see if I could see a date for it. July 7th, maybe. Oh no, sorry. March 22nd. March 22nd. So just around the corner. Less than a month to wait to see if they actually do. I hope they do. And release a new God of War game.
In the older God of War games, though, you can't hear "boy."
Yeah.
Was it a different actor who played Kratos back in the day?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Christopher Judge.
Maybe it was Chris Judge. I don't know.
Christopher Judge didn't play it back then. No.
Judge's
first one was the remake or revitalization. I don't know what you can call it. When they did the first God of War, the newest one. That was his first time, and then he did the Ragnarok on the second go round. Yeah, they should have remastered and then just got him to come in to do the lines again from where it was.
Or they just get him to do a third game.
There's still strong rumors about the third game, though. They're talking about...
yeah, but moving it to a different era. I want it in Norse mythology. Only two when you've done 3 in Greek mythology. Come on, man. They're talking about moving it to Egypt.
Yeah, but the whole franchise has always been like that. They move on to a different...
His son's part Viking. His wife was like Viking. Like, these are key people in his life. Like, if you're going to bring his half Viking son along with you to Egypt and mash some shit up, okay.
Well, there are some rumors that they said that it could be a game that focuses on the son more, and that the Kratos will be in it, but not as much as he was.
Maybe. I think that there is something to it because Christopher Judge has kind of been teasing some things, so that's where it comes from. Anyhow, more layoffs, unfortunately. We thought we had kind of a bit of a lull in layoffs, but more layoffs in the gaming world. Krafton, who are the guys who make Callisto Protocol, which I played. Fantastic game. It's a couple of the guys that came from Mass Effect, went on to form their own studio and do Callisto Protocol. I genuinely loved that game. I adored that game. They are getting rid of some folks as well. I am not seeing a kind of figure of how many people they're going to get rid of. But it's similar to recent articles we've been hearing about other companies, that Marvel Snap company, making some redundancies even though they're doing really well. They're talking about being more slimline, more agile. I'm like, you're making a fortune. Why did you hire these people in the first place if you purposely knew you were going to get fat to just then downsize? Like, well, what was the point? Just to get the game out the door and then you're going to get rid of some of them. Disgusting behaviour, guys. Like, especially when you do well with your games.
Yeah, it's a never-ending story that side, though.
Two things, though, just to be slightly fair. When they do a game, they do hire a bunch of extra people and they do let them go.
That's 3 do's in the space of 2 seconds.
Well, they don't let them go to this magnitude. That's for sure. But they do let it go a certain amount and they go on to other games. But this is like unprecedented. You're talking about, and I love the line that you had mentioned, Trev, when they all say the same thing. Well, we're streamlined now, so we're lean and mean and. Taking no questions. We're going to go right.
It'll take you longer to get your next game out now because you're too lean.
Yeah, exactly. And it's long enough as it is now.
Yeah,
it's 4 years for a game is ridiculous when they used to put them out in a year and a half, sometimes two.
It's a California-based studio. There's a lot of competition in California for gaming studios, game devs and whatnot. So hopefully these people pick up another job sometime soon. The last thing I've got is, unfortunately, a bit more bad news, but different bad news. I don't like to end on a down note, but it's worth mentioning. especially Shell still listens to the show. I hope you do, Shell. I hope you're feeling okay these days, as good as you can be.
Miss you.
I sent her the story right away.
I bet you did. I bet
She
you
answered
did.
me. She just went, the little tear emoji. You know.
Sad. Yeah.
But then she said, I'd rather it be a really good game. So we gotta wait. Whatever.
But very diplomatic. Xbox has officially delayed Fable to 2026, and they're saying it's definitely worth the wait. Why say 2025 if you're not even going to make a whole year? You had a whole year period. It's a long period of time to estimate when your game came out, and you won't make that. That means you've effed up a little bit, people. You've bitten off more than you could chew. Just don't give us a date. Don't give us a date until you can at least give us a guaranteed year window, or ideally 6 months. But we know we're not going to get 6 months. It'll be the year at best. Yeah. We haven't seen much about this. It's been teased a little bit, and this is part of the reason I think it's delayed, because there wasn't basically enough time to, work on this and show us some valuable content. And we've barely seen anything. It's mostly CGI stuff we've saw from this. So. Yeah, I would rather it's a good game as well, boys. I have to agree with Shell in that respect. It's Playground Studios who are actually do Forza and Forza Horizon, so they're actually. I hope this game's good because they don't have any previous in this kind of game. Completely different genre for them.
Yeah.
But I think Playground are a British studio, and Fable has got British characters in it, and they're talking about it being really good, story driven with the characters, a lot of kind of not dark but dry British humour in it. So I'm looking forward to that. I probably would play that, to be fair. Shame, sad. I don't share willing to play that, but it is what it is. So
maybe some of the characters actually drive cars in the game, so that might
that
work.
would be cool. There you go. Even though it's set in like medieval times, but yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah, but what's some wheels
a little fairy trying to drive the full big car, and they're like,
Yeah.
Wow.
I can do it. I swear.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is me for my side of things, Mr. Gray.
All right, we're back into the hardware tech news now, so we're gonna go talk a little bit more about that.
Hardware and tech news.
This is something that I thought was interesting. I didn't realize it was this bad, but January 2025, video game hardware sales fell 45% from last January.
Whoa.
And I'm like, wow, 45%. I'm sitting there going, like, I can understand, like, a certain percentage. But
Damn,
45?
that's big.
That's a huge. I mean, I'm sitting there going, now, PlayStation was hurt less. Of the console makers, the others lost more than PlayStation, but PlayStation still lost as well. So it's crazy. So currently, according to the data that they dug up, it fell a massive 45% to 205 million, while accessories fell 28%. So all the accessories that you buy or whatever fell 28%. That's a really major drop there too. All since in the last year or whatever. It's the lowest total they've had since January of 2020. So it's been a little time. Despite the drop, of course, PlayStation still remains the top-selling console, even if they did lose a percentage. Xbox was second, and Switch was actually Xbox was second in dollars, but Switch was second in units sold. It's kind of interesting. On the accessory side of things, it said the PlayStation Portal remained the top-selling accessory in terms of dollars. They said for units.
What do you make of this, Gray?
I make of it as being more trouble, because if this is dropping 45%, 28%, et cetera, that means you're going to see more layoffs. Because not that we're trying to be broken records, but we've been talking about layoffs for months now, and every time we think it's over, we get the news today, again, of Warner Brothers that I reported, and the report that Trev had. So it just never seems to end. But to drop that much, if it dropped that much, and the PS what is 6 or PS5 Pro, right? It's not out yet, is it? Or will be soon, something like that. So if you're having trouble, imagine when it finally does come out.
Gray. Imagine not knowing the PS5 Pros and it's been out since November. Whoops.
Yeah, see, so if they're already having a problem with sales being dropped off like this, what's going to happen when the new things come out? Already people are screaming that the consoles are too expensive, especially the PlayStation.
What do you think the cause is? Do you think it's the financial difficulties?
Yes.
Do you think it's the lack of good games? What?
I blame that personally.
I think it's more on the monies because basically when you have a problem buying eggs, because of bird flu and all these other things, you're not going to be sitting there turning around and trying to buy a console. You're more concerned about other things you got to buy. So I think that would be the number one reason. The secondary reason could be the games, but I think that's in its own world because the console can run anything. It can run bad games, good games, or whatever. It doesn't care, basically, but people care. So so the games are in its own world, et cetera. And they're having their issues too, as we've been talking about, and we're still talking about. So it just seems to be, obviously it's a trend, where some games are getting worse, and with the exception of the few that are good, especially from indies. And now we're talking about this, which is a humongous drop. I mean, that's a lot of money lost right there. And now it seems to just keep on going. So I don't know. I don't know where to put that. I don't. The next story I thought was kind of interesting. They were talking about DeepSeek. We've all heard about DeepSeek and how they created their AI. I'm not even in the AI thing yet. I'm ahead of myself already.
Edit yourself, boy.
Sorry about that. Anyway, actually, it makes sense. It actually covers two things. Okay, this I'm talking about is more of the smuggling, but this was interesting. They said that 28% of the GPU chips and so forth and GPU sales has only 1% of this 28% has been delivered into Singapore, and they're all just going like, well, if they bought 28%, why did only 1% of this only make it to Singapore? So after they started doing some research and stuff, they're finding out that these chips, especially since with the onset of AI, have all been basically funneled over to China.
Oh, okay. I think I was struggling to realize what you were saying there. You're saying that loads of Nvidia chips have gone to Singapore and then pushed over to China.
Via them to China, right? So now that some of the rumors, not so much rumors anymore, that we've heard about how DeepSeek was able to get away with doing some of the things it did, was because they were able to work on other people's efforts. Not saying it's totally the reason, but a good chunk of it. Now we find out that a whole bunch of these things went missing, but basically were sold to Singapore and it all ended up in China. So, and these are all NVIDIA parts. So apparently they were able to get what they wanted one way or the other. They were saying that it's not unusual for this to happen, but what is unusual is the fact that where they end up. So when they end up in China with obvious trade wars and things going on, it really is shaking up the business angle for everything. So now we see the reasons why DeepSeek has done as well as they did, because it didn't technically cost them as much, et cetera. And that's not to say that there isn't some good people in DeepSeek that have done some things. It just means that there's a little more reason why some of these things, tend to happen, I guess, is what we'll call that. Anywho, you got to suffer with me again, because now we're going to go into the AI corner.
What's our time like, Mr. Gray?
Time is getting short. So I think, you know what we'll do? Let's roll into the quiz. Because we only have about 8 minutes or so. So maybe we'll go into the quiz and we'll save the AI corner for next time, which is fine. No big deal.
It's up to you.
So let's head right into the gaming quiz, the world famous gaming quiz.
Get your hand on the buzzer for the world famous Extreme Gaming Quiz.
Oh,
you ready, guys?
I was about to say,
it's your favorite part.
Psyching myself up. I can do it.
And later on, I will be editing in the game music, so that when you're thinking, you'll have something underneath you playing.
Has it been answered? Is that what these colored things are?
Yeah. What is that?
No, that's part of the question, but you'll see.
Did you make it multiple choice or something?
Some of them are multiple choice, correct. That's why I did it. All right, so number one.
Make it easier for.
According to the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, I don't know if you guys know this kind of stuff, but I thought it was a cool question. According to the Entertainment Software's Ratings Board, what do video game titles rated EC mean?
Is it like AC, but different?
Yeah, that's AC/DC and now EC.
Yeah.
Is
We're not
this
talking about the rock and roll
only
version.
thing?
Yeah.
Is this an American thing only, or is this another country?
I think that the Entertainment
American.
Software ratings are across the board. So basically,
Can't
does
for-
EC, when your game is rated EC, does it mean eldest child only, age 5 and older, age 3 and older, or age 3 and below?
I've never seen EC, but I know.
I think it means everyone can. So that's
Oh,
everyone.
that's a good one.
So what would you say of those multiple choice you would pick? Eldest child only, age 5 and older, age 3 and older, age
5 and
3
older.
and below.
I'm
5 and
going to
older,
say age
okay.
5 and older. This must be an American thing, Gray.
Age 3.
I've never heard of this before, man.
Yeah, we don't have the ESRB. We have.
Hey, I answer your questions when it comes to the
What's the one we
overseas.
have?
Come on.
Yeah, so
No, but I don't. You should. Put the caveat at the start that it is based in America only, so that
Making
people know. Because
excuses, people.
otherwise, I'm screwed.
yeah.
You guys, let's go.
Age 3 and older,
Okay.
because I know about the child.
Charles 5
friendly
and older, you're 3 and older.
certification.
Trev, you're agreeing with Tarl on the 5 and older?
Yeah.
we have
Early
Peggy,
child.
Trev, by the way. That's what
Oh,
it is.
Peggy.
Peggy.
Yeah, that's it.
I love Peggy. That's great. I love the guy that goes there. Peggy 18.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Not to get mixed up with anything else.
Exactly.
I say it
no,
myself.
no,
I say it
no, don't
myself.
say it, don't
I
say
didn't
it,
say
don't
it.
say it.
I didn't say the other word. Some people like it. Some people don't.
If you watched Wolverine and Deadpool,
There's a
you'll
lot
know
of pegging
exactly
going
what
on
I'm
there.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Peggy. Yeah.
Peggy 18.
I just want to let you know, Mr. Matt, that you are correct. Age 3 and older.
God damn it!
So there
Matt
you
always
go.
gets these right. I hate Matt.
Matt does pretty good in these. All
Okay.
right, second question.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Second question. Listen up, guys. How many circles of hell are there in Dante's Inferno? How many circles of hell are there in Dante's Inferno? 5, 8, 9, or 10?
9? It's
Okay,
been a
you
long
got-
time.
You got 9. Go ahead. Anybody else?
I'm not confident.
5.
5.
It's been a
All
while.
right, 2 5s and a 9. All right.
Sold.
Carl, ding, 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 ding. You are correct, sir. It is 9. 9 circles of hell in Dante's Inferno.
hate
That's
it.
not
I've been
too
there
many,
last
right?
week. I should know that.
Trev lives in Scotland. He's there every day.
Yeah.
Scotland isn't
Now,
hell.
now.
I live in Edinburgh, a very beautiful city. Thank
Yes,
you
I'm
very
going.
much.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Just
I
Right,
surrounded
understand.
by hell.
I'm English. I'm entitled to make jokes about Scotland, okay?
Hey,
All
Hey,
right,
Trev,
okay, let's dust it off, then. Let's do it.
Trev taught me a very important thing. Is I
Find
used to
your
go
kilt.
around saying Edinburgh, and he goes, "Dude, it's Edinburgh." I said, "But it doesn't spell that way." He said, "Doesn't matter. It's Edinburgh."
Yeah, it
I
is.
go, "Okay."
It's
We've
spelled
got lots of
like
places like that, don't we?
Borough.
Mm.
Yeah, when
It's
you look
actually-
at it, it looks like Berg to me. I mean,
Like
but-
Worcestershire
It is.
sauce.
A borough
Yeah.
is a Scottish word. Actually, I only found this out about a year or two ago. I didn't know that because in New York it's boroughs.
A year or two
That's why
ago.
the Yanks get
Oh,
it mixed
God.
up. So I don't actually blame the Yanks anymore. I don't. It's because they've got
Borough.
boroughs there. They don't have boroughs, so they're actually saying it the way they think it is. Anyway,
Okay,
Andrew.
on to the third question. Which game series features a character named Nico Bellic? Which game series features a character named Nico Bellic?
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty?
I recognise the name. I think it's a first-person shooter.
I'm not going to say anything. So, Call of Duty, you guys?
Grand Theft Auto.
Well, that's
4.
general. Which one? Okay, great. GTA 4. Trev?
genital jousting. I don't know. The last dick joke for the day. I have no clue.
Well, Trev's not going to like this. Ding, ding, ding,
Oh.
Matt, you're right again.
What?
Damn,
GTA 4.
that boy knows his games.
And, that is
Jesus,
a
man! Do
brilliant
you
game.
ever leave the house?
No.
Holy moly!
I need to
So
start putting
clearly
money
you got,
on you.
You got a
Matt.
Tesco shop. You got a Tesco shop, so you don't. Of
I know.
course, yeah.
Anyway,
I
it's been,
hate
it's
quiz,
been
man.
fun. We did another wonderful show. So much so that we have to push stories off, but that's a good thing. So
Yeah,
we'll
better
be
have
back
more
next
content.
week. Remember, people that are listening to the audio, if you wish to see the video, we put in a whole bunch of bells and whistles on the video side, and that'll be ready approximately 2 days after this show airs. So look for that, and we will be back next week with a whole bunch of new stuff going on.
Sorry for all the dick jokes. Apologies.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll always bring those up. I mean, it's or something else similar.
Don't be sorry. This was the dick penis special.
We don't say that though. We couch it in different
You make it
phrasing.
so obvious. You just ruined it. You ruined the humor, man.
You can't say
doing
you
it,
can't
I'm
say
gonna hit you
actually
with
what
my
it
penis.
is because
Okay,
it
sorry.
you have to like
I'll make.
you have to come up with the proper innuendo.
Yes.
Purple sausage. Oh.
Yeah, see?
Something
There you
good.
go. Now you get it. All right,
Snappy
everybody.
nuts.
We will. Thanks for listening, and thanks for downloading, and thanks for watching, and the whole 9 yards. And we will see you guys again next week. Everybody, yeah, right. Everybody, wave.
See you later.
Bye bye.
We get an outro. I hope
Slip
we
you
do.
with my penis.
I'm glad we had time. That's still in.
Chris.
I hope that's still in.
Yep, it is. It will be. Bye.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you.